PoE2 players that never got used to the, for example, linking your gear, your gems in your gear are not going to like that system, for example. But after playing with graphics like PoE2, a lot of players don't want to play with the graphics in PoE1. After having WASD in PoE2, they don't want to go to point and click in PoE1. So guys, I have this video here, really short, 4 minutes, that is called Path of Exile 2 players aren't playing Path of Exile 1. And of course, you guys know these are the titles that catch my attention, dude. There is no way in hell I see this title and I don't watch the video. It is like they are commanding me to watch the video. I am a Path of Exile 2 player and I am playing Path of Exile 1. But I know that it is a common sentiment among a lot of Path of Exile 2 players that they don't want to play Path of Exile 1, or they tried playing the league but they didn't enjoy it as much. Basically, Path of Exile 2 spoiled Path of Exile 1 for them and they can't go back. So let's see what Misoshiru has to say in here.
It really feels like this league did not attract as much PoE2 players as I thought it would have.
Dude, over 60% of you are not subscribed. Why? Why are you like this? Just click the sub button, dude. It is quick, it is easy, it is free. You get content, I get a sub, win-win situation. Just click the sub button, my dude.
I thought...
That is true too. I thought that the league was going to... I know, 7 seconds into the video and I am already pausing. That is why you are here, right? For my commentary on this shit. Hey, I really thought that this league would be, you will surpass 200k in players in this league. That I thought it was going to be the case, and it didn't happen. It got at the peak at the league launch like 180k, which, to be honest, it is not bad. If you have an all-time peak of 220k, having 180k after an almost 1 year hiatus, it is not bad at all, in my opinion. It is still a viable, solid product. Earlier today, I checked the Steam charts. And remember, this is only Steam. You also get more players in consoles and the launcher. I play on the launcher, for example. I don't play from Steam. And Path of Exile was like ranked 4th or 5th in the top 10 most played games on Steam. Every time you are in the top 10 most played games on Steam, you are doing great. So I don't think there is a reason to doom about this. But it is true that I thought more PoE2 players would play PoE1 and not as many as are doing it. But I also checked the player numbers for PoE2 and PoE2 is like in 15k a day, which is really low for Path of Exile 2, which tells me that then a lot of those players are in PoE1 because then it would be like in 50k and it is in 15k. You know what I'm saying?
This would probably be the biggest league ever. It's like a year since the last real league has launched. First league since PoE2. Number of people from PoE2 I would have assumed would have been interested in at least trying PoE1. But like, it really seems like PoE2 players are not interested in PoE1. Like, you take a look at this, right?
But I think they are. Because if they are not interested in PoE1, they are also not interested in PoE2. Because they are not in PoE2 either. You know what I'm saying? When the PoE1 league launched, player numbers in PoE2 went down because players migrated to PoE1. A lot of them just quit entirely, I believe so, because yes, it is common that a lot of PoE2 players are not enjoying PoE1 as much. But at the same time, what I'm telling you is also true. They are not in PoE2 either.
And there's like multiple data points too. You could take a look at the numbers, right? It's like clearly it's even lower than Settlers, even lower than the one before Settlers. And then if you look at something like this, these types of videos, easily leap to PoE after PoE 3.26 after playing Path of Exile 2, the basics, right? Literally 0.2x of what Try's videos normally do. Let's take a look at Ziz. He's been doing like some sort of like...
This is true, by the way, in content. Regarding the content, I have noticed it in my channel. After the content window shifted from PoE2 to PoE1, and not for my content specifically, for content related to PoE in general, my views went down. And I think it is because my videos are normally focused on PoE 2. So when the window shifted towards PoE 1, and again, not only for me, but there is no content to talk about in PoE 2. I would talk about content in PoE 2 if there was something to talk about, but there is not. My views dropped dramatically. So what he's commenting in here is also true. People not only are not interested in the game, but also in the content. At least PoE 2 players.
Series on PoE 1 info. Like, look at this. Path of Exile 1 University for PoE 2 players. 0.4x mini guide on the new bosses. Nothing there indicating it, but like it doesn't look high, it looks low. Same with like these Atlas tree for Atlas progression, right? These are kind of geared at like newer players. It feels like PoE 2's players are just not interested in PoE 1. And I'm not talking about PoE 1 players who are playing PoE 2 as well.
Exactly. This is a good distinction, by the way. And guys, we have to understand, because there is always the person that says, I am a PoE 2 player and I am playing PoE 1. Yes, we are generalizing in here because we are talking about big masses of players. Obviously, this is percentage based. There are always exceptions. We are not talking about the exception, we are talking about the rule. And the rule is that at least 2 out of 3 PoE 2 players, meaning what he's saying in here, players that started playing with PoE 2, not PoE 1 players that play PoE 2, that is different, are not going back to play PoE 1. Which I knew it was going to happen somewhat, but I thought the numbers would be different. Instead of being 2 out of 3 players don't try it, I thought it was going to be 1 out of 3 players don't try it, you know, like, and then it favors trying the other game. But I was wrong, apparently.
Talk about like the newer PoE players who are playing PoE 2 who have never played PoE 1 before. It's like, it really seems like none of those people want to go to PoE 1. And it's probably the reason why maybe they didn't try PoE 1 before in the past either, because it's not very beginner friendly. PoE 1's too hardcore.
But that is the thing. After you play PoE 2, you get like some knowledge, and then getting into PoE 1 is easier. For me, it was like that. Previously to playing PoE 2, I could never get into PoE 1. But now that I played PoE 2 and going back to PoE 1, it was much easier. It is, the barrier of entry is still high, but it was much easier to understand a lot of things and to get into the game. But I think it goes even beyond that. PoE 2 players that never got used to for example, linking your gear, your gems in your gear, are not going to like that system, for example. And yes, I know that we always say you shouldn't judge a game by its graphics, but after playing with graphics like PoE 2, a lot of players don't want to play with the graphics in PoE 1. After having WASD in PoE 2, they don't want to go to point and click in PoE 1. It is a lot of things like this that the reasons why new PoE 2 players don't want to go back and play PoE 1. Some of them, a lot, do play still. And by the way, this is something I want to tell, and I was also talking about this yesterday when we reacted to Try's video, talking about a topic similar to this one. This informs the future of the games too, by the way, in terms of the business decisions that GGG takes. Like, I don't think that this state right now implies dooming, because I think that 180k is a good game. Being in top 10 in Steam is healthy, is good. But they will see the numbers in the next 3 or 4 leagues combined between the 2 games, and that will inform how they approach the games in the future. And what might happen if they see that PoE 1 gets less and less players, and PoE 2 gets more and more players, and the community shifts toward PoE 2, what might happen is that they start investing less and less in PoE 1 and investing more and more into PoE 2, right? If things go that way. But if things get into a balance where you get like 1/3 of your player base in PoE 1 and 2/3 of your player base in PoE 2, that is a healthy balance, they can maintain that for a long time. But what I'm meaning is that all these numbers will inform what will happen with these games 2 years from now. They will evaluate it in several leagues. Only one league won't be enough, but 2, 3, 4 leagues of a tendency that can be enough to draw a graph of what is happening, right?
Or I mean, it definitely is. But like, you would have, in my mind, right? I would have thought like some people who played PoE 2 are like, okay, you know, I understand how PoE 2 works. I, you know, am having a good time with this game, and as a result, I'm gonna go try PoE 1 because I now have some knowledge about PoE. Like,
that is exactly what I thought, by the way. And I am glad, because when you don't have more content in PoE 2 and you still want to keep playing PoE, you can go to PoE 1 and keep playing PoE, but with a whole new array of content. For example, I am really hooked right now to Heist. I am just playing Heist. And there is no Heist in PoE 2. So if I want to play Heist, I have to play PoE 1. There is no way to play Heist in PoE 2. So if I want Heist, I have to play PoE 1. It is insane. If you guys have a game that functions like Heist, but it's another game, recommend it to me. I honestly don't know any game that functions like Heist. But hey, Heist, I am hooked to Heist. In my logical view, they both will steadily grow. This is just logical. That is what I thought initially, right? And everything will change once PoE 2 goes free to play. That will bring a whole new audience. But that is what I thought initially. They will both grow, because with the new players that got to PoE 2, then some of them will try PoE 1, and then it will grow, and then you get more new players to PoE 2, and then more players to PoE 1. But that is not what we saw with this league particularly. It can also be because of the fatigue that there was not a league in a long time. Players are getting back in slowly. Maybe once we get rolling with patches and patches and patches, things again continue to steadily grow as they were before all these tumultuous times that we had, right?
General from PoE 2. But like, it feels like people didn't even try playing it. They like didn't even give it a shot type of situation. Because like, we can take a look at Steam charts, right? And this isn't like indicative for sure completely, but like, this is the day that PoE 1 came out. And like, you could say it had a slight drop from Thursday, right? So it's like about...
Okay, I thought that the drop was more significant. I talked about it earlier, and I thought that the drop was bigger. And apparently it wasn't that big of a drop as I thought, dude.
3,000 players went to maybe go try PoE 1. But then we look at like, you know, here, 21K. We're back up again. They're just like, you know what? I played PoE 1 for like a day or two, maybe. I picked up the game. Not for me. Maybe they gave it a shot. Like, and even that number I feel is just very small. Because like, if we could, let's just say every single person that went from here, 21K to 19K, tried out PoE 1, right? That's the reason why it dropped in like 2K players. That's really not much. Now, granted, these people who are still playing PoE 2 are...
And still, check this out, guys. People say that 0.2 was a failure in terms of players' numbers. Look at the peak that 0.2 had. 245K players. Yes, if you compare it with the all-time peak, it is half. But it is still more than the best league in PoE 1. It is still a lot. So that is why I don't know what GG will face in the future with these numbers, right? They will evaluate what to do in the future. I think that right now, the plan that they are following is the correct way to go. PoE 1 is still a viable product. 180K players is really good. Top 10 Steam, really good. You maintain it. And we see what happens over a year, right? A year is 3 leagues in each games, because they are doing, you know, every 4 months a league. So we'll see what happens.
Probably hardcore PoE 2 players. Like, there's no reason why you would still be playing PoE 2 right now if you weren't a hardcore player. So maybe they've already decided they're not going to try it. But like, again, the fact that this number is so low is very interesting. Again, I understand like Settlers is really great, right? So that's why it's so high. Great. But let's not even talk about Settlers. Let's talk about the league before Settlers. It didn't even beat that, which again, you had PoE 2 come out since this, boost up.
But it didn't beat it by like a little bit. It is not like, oh, it overwhelmingly tanked. It is a little bit, dude. It is comparable, let's be honest. It is comparable.
A lot of people to actually pay attention to Path of Exile and then give them a little bit of an introduction to the Path of Exile universe and how it's played.
Well, this is true, what he's saying in here, by the way. GG should try to bridge the gap. They should try to get PoE 2 players somehow to play PoE 1. How? Motivate them somehow. You can do it in 2 ways that come to the top of my head really quickly without thinking about it. Imagine if you sit down as your job to think about it. That is why, GG, hire me. I could do this for you. But right now, I am going to give you 2 ideas, GG. First one, make a better new player introduction to PoE 1, specifically catered towards PoE 2 players. I know you don't want to do this, and you said in a recent interview that you are committing to PoE 1 being the game to veteran players. But after a player has played PoE 2 for 6 months, you can start considering a veteran PoE player, and you can transfer them to the PoE 1 ecosystem too, right? So make a short tutorial specifically designed for PoE 2 players. And the other thing is to motivate people to actually go through the tutorial and actually play the game. Create rewards that you can get in PoE 2 if you go through PoE 1. For example, a new league drops, and if you complete certain challenges in PoE 1, you unlock stuff in PoE 2. Do that. Do that, dude. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless you. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.